Okay, then Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal. This is CS Sankalp Kanstiya, and I welcome each one of you in this amazing session on strategic financial management. Are you ready to learn something new in the upcoming 2 months? Then let's get started. So, amazing sessions is now what we will be having in the course of next 45, 50, 60 days, and trust me, it's gonna be a beautiful journey is what I promise. All I want from you all is the hardcore discipline, and I'm sure this subject is going to change your lives, is going to change your career paths as well. How is it going to change your lives? Because I'm sure if you score very good marks in this subject, definitely you will become a chartered accountant. How is it going to change your career? Because probably if the things go well, then in that case, I'm sure by the end of all of these sessions, you may even start to think making a career in this field of financial management. So let's see how the whole system works up. Are you all excited? Keep on keep on communicating on a regular basis so that things are on the right track. So let me start with my small introduction. So guys, my name is CS Sankalp Kanstiya. By profession, I am a chartered accountant, I am a company secretary, and the reason I'm starting with this subject is because I have a rich experience of working in the field of finance for a span of 4 years post chartered accountancy qualification. So it is not that I've just come here because I had no option, but I am here with this subject for a simple reason because I have I thought of using all the knowledge that I have gained of working in JP Morgan. If you know the name JP Morgan, it is world's one of the biggest financial service provider, biggest multinational company which is into providing of financial services. I was in JP Morgan in their asset management and financial due diligence team for a span of approximately 4 years. And that is where the whole inclination towards this subject began. Obviously, it started with costing, and eventually I had to get here as well. But as they say, never too late to begin. So I'll share my journey in JP Morgan as well as and when we progress with these lectures. But for now, I'll just give you an update of how it all started. So I cleared my CA examinations by 22, and I was always inclined towards teaching. So I always wanted to get into that. But my parents, especially my father, convinced me that, boss, you've done your CACS. Now you have a degree. It's good that you have a passion for teaching, but why don't you keep that passion for Saturday, Sunday? Work in a multinational company from Monday to Friday. You will also build your capital. And in the meantime, in Saturday, Sunday, you will realize whether it is your passion or it is just, come and go thing. So I thought, okay, let's give that a try. So that's where I gave a lot of interviews. In fact, my first interview was with JP Morgan. Post that, even when I accepted the offer, even after that, I was still giving interviews with a lot of other companies, especially the big four. As a chartered accountant, if you've not given an interview with big four, it's almost that your degree is incomplete. So I gave my interviews there. I was selected with KPMG, EY, selected with JP Morgan as well. But finally, I thought that yes, this is the area which is going to be really interesting for me. Otherwise, the other departments in EY or KPMG that I got were stat audit departments, which I felt that it's okay. I think my more interest is towards finance. So how did my interview go? If you've been my SCMP student, probably you would know how it went. But if you are not, and if you're listening to my lecture for the first time, I'll just give you a gist of how it all began. So, JP Morgan, I had to clear 6 rounds of interview before I was finally selected. And trust me, the whole process of selection in JP Morgan was a enriching experience in itself. So my first round was HR round, second round was my senior HR round. All of these rounds were very good. HRs, senior HRs, these are the See, HR, senior HRs, these are the best people in the world. They will talk so politely and they will always be in your favor. So first two rounds were brilliant. Then the third round was the tough nut to crack. The third round was with the vice president of the company, and in that panel there was a chartered accountant with an experience of more than 12 to 15 years. In that panel we had a MBA from, probably I think he did it from IIM, did it his graduation from IIT. Also there was the HR sitting there who had already interviewed me. So then is where started my journey of the JP Morgan interview. Now listen to it. First two rounds were brilliant. I seriously thought, after giving my HR rounds, I seriously thought that, boss, now I am selected. No ways. Academically I was sound, and the HR was really really positive for me. So I was really happy. So then the interview began. The vice president of the company, the chartered accountant, both of them looked at my CV, and trust me, my CV was very very promising. So in terms of academics, I had cleared two major professional degrees, and overall I was a student of Narsi Monji College from Mumbai, which again is one of the very reputed colleges of Mumbai, and I would say of India as well. So things were very much positive till there. Then a question was asked to me. They told me that please run us through your CV. So I ran them through my CV. And that is where I told them that, sir, I want to make a career in finance, because I knew that JP Morgan is mainly into finance. And I told them that I want to make a career in finance. Mainly, I want to be a investment banker. Yes, that's what I told them. Not knowing really what investment banking is, frankly speaking, but I had heard that yeah, investment banking means, yes, high quality job. You have to come in some suits, blazers, and high hefty paychecks, easily 15, 20 lakhs. And this I'm speaking of what, 10, 12 years back. So that is when I would be getting 12 to 15 lakhs. I thought, boss, life is set. So they started with the whole conversation. They told me that very, very impressive that you are feeling that yes, you should join this organization in investment banking department. So let us start with your interview. I was like, yes, sir, definitely. The first question that they asked me was, Mr. Sankalp, please tell us the top three investment banking deals that have happened in the last 6 months in India, in the last 1 year in India. Yes, this was the first question. Mr. Sankalp, what are the top three investment banking deals that have happened in the last 1 year in India? Now, I was a fresh chartered accountant. Do you feel as a fresh chartered accountant, we really know that what are the investment banking deals going around in the last 1 year? Frankly speaking, see, today is a world of applications, and still a lot of things are available on social media. But just imagine 12 years back when there was no social media, we had no access to all of these things, and trust me, I had no clues whatsoever. I fumbled a bit, and then I told them that, sir, frankly speaking, I have no idea of what you are speaking of. I don't know any investment banking deal. Okay, no problem. No, you only said no, you want to be an investment banker. So if that's your area of interest, probably we thought you would know it. Like, yes, sir, but I have no idea. And trust me, this is a true story. Your sweat. This is a true story that I'm saying. Why will I say negative about myself unnecessarily? No, na. Okay. Second question. Listen to me. Second question that they asked me was, okay, who are the lead book running managers or the merchant bankers of these transactions, of these investment banking transactions? Tell me, as a chartered accountant, do you feel I would know this answer? No, definitely I didn't know any single word. Who are the merchant bankers, book lead running managers? I've just heard it, even that too also when I was doing my CS. But as a part of curriculum, you don't know, no, who's your merchant banker and all of these people. So again, second question, and I had no clues what the answer will be. Question number three, they're like, okay, okay, no problem. You said that your investment banking is your area of interest, so we thought we'll ask you. I was like, gone, boss. Third question. Third question they asked me was, Acha, what is the ballpark of the deals? What is the ballpark of the investment banking deals that have happened recently in India, or you can also tell us globally? What is the ballpark of the deals? Do we know what is the meaning of ballpark? I didn't know at all. I mean, leave aside ballpark of the deal. I don't even know what does the word ballpark mean. It basically, now I know, it basically means what is the transaction value and all of that. But I had no clues what is the question is being asked to me. A few minutes back, I had put my collar on thinking that, oh my God, Mr. Sankalp is going to take home 15-20 lakhs. But now the collar is down. Now his eyes are also down and he is bombarded with questions of which I have, trust me, no clues whatsoever. I still remember that day. In the morning batch, somebody asked me that, sir, what was your reaction when you were not able to answer? I said, first question, I thought it's okay. One, two question, I don't know. So I was able to answer. By the time they asked the third question, I had no clue what they are speaking of. Literally, sweat pores were falling from my forehead. Legit, I still remember. And I seriously wanted to run off from that interview. I seriously wanted that, boss, I don't want to give any more interview here because I am now feeling whether I am really a chartered accountant or not. I mean, three questions and I'm not even able to speak a single word. If I'm not even able to bluff something, yeah, right? So seriously, I was having a tough time. The HR was there. He was also watching me. Now, I told you, HRs are the good people. So he told me, it's okay, Mr. Sankalp, you can have some water. The water was kept. You can have some water and you can, stay calm. It's okay, even if you don't know. So I got a hint from him that it's okay, you don't know anything. Boss, Poda, you will have to go away from here. I don't think so. You are going to get a job here. So this is what I thought. I seriously felt that somebody tell me, Mr. Sankalp, the interview is over. Please get lost from here. But no, that was not the scenario. They asked these first three questions. I was not able to answer them at all. I drank a little bit of water and then again I tried to recompose myself. Then they asked few more questions. They asked another question that, Mr. Sankalp, you have also mentioned in your hobby that you like playing cricket. I was like, yes, sir. I seriously like it. So they asked me a question relating to a cricket. They told me that suppose if the bowler balls the ball, hey, you also try to answer if you know it. Bowler bowls the ball. Suppose the batsman misses it, the wicket keeper also misses it, and behind the wicket keeper there is a helmet. The ball hits the helmet. How many runs will the batsman get? Come on, do you have any idea? I immediately answered, sir, 5 runs. I knew this answer and I was so ecstatic that finally I am able to answer something. Hush. I told them, sir, 5 runs, 5 runs. So he was like, okay, very good, Mr. Sankal, very good. So if it hits the helmet, you get 5 runs. The batsman gets 5 runs. Then he asked me another question. Okay, you have also read in your hobby reading books. Now, usually we copy paste, no, while making a CV. But thankfully, I do read books, and it was a genuine thing that I told them that yes, sir, I like reading books. He told me last book which you have read. Now the book also has a movie named after it, Two States. If you would know, Alia Bhatt and Arjun Kapoor have acted in that movie. So I told them that, sir, I have read the book Two States by Chetan Bhagat, and it's a good book. So he told me, okay, please tell me the story of Two States in 1 minute. And I actually gave them the story that it's a love story between a Tamilian girl and a Punjabi boy, and they fall in love, but there are issues from the parents, but finally parents accept it. All of that in within a span of 1-2 minutes, I gave them full book answer, and they said, "Very good, your answer is absolutely correct." And immediately the other person told me, if investment banking was really your passion, then in that case, like you have answered the last two questions, you would have answered the first three questions as well. No, I was like, now when I'm answering the question, that is also a problem. When I was not answering the question, that also a problem. They told me that if your really interest is investment banking, why didn't you answer the first three questions like you have done for the last two questions? Oh gosh. Trust me, I was having the day of my life. I was like, boss, please, I am asking you, folded hands, please tell me to leave. I'll be happy, more than happy to leave. But things didn't stop there, it continued. So then they asked me some typical questions. Yes. Then they asked me some questions relating to profits and gains from business and profession. Then they asked me some questions relating to, yeah, see, people are laughing here. Sai Puja Nakka is laughing. Boss, you don't know what I was going through, yeah. Then they asked me some typical questions that, okay, tell us something about profits and gains from business and professions. So they asked me a question relating to that. Then they asked me a question relating to capital gain taxation, and I was able to give them a very pit pat answer. Then they asked me questions on accounting standard. At that point in time, there were accounting standards, unlike the Ind AS that you have now. So accounting standard relating to AS 22 deferred tax, and then there was AS 19 question on leasing. Both questions I was able to answer in the very swift manner. Then they asked me something about the NPV, IRR, capital budgeting. Again, I was able to answer. And then finally, they were really impressed. And I seriously felt that I would not be selected. But thankfully, I was called for round 4. Then there was round 5, round 6. They were also okay rounds. Not that difficult like how it was the third round. So I seriously felt that I would not be selected. But to my surprise, the HR person called me and told that don't worry, you are selected. The first 3 questions were to ensure that if you are flying high in the sky, we better bring you to your levels. Okay. And then we negotiate our salary accordingly. So that is what their strategy was. So they didn't judge me based on the first 3 questions. They were always prepared that I was not going to answer the first 3 questions. But because I was able to answer the remaining questions, my communication skills were good when I was answering the questions relating to PGBP, capital gains, accounting standards, NPV, IRRs. They thought that yes, this person is fit for the job, and they selected me finally. See, I got selected, but I feel now in this competitive world, it may not be possible for you to be as lucky as I was. So that's why then, when I was selected after that, I went to that vice president and that CA and I asked them, sir, how did you select me? My interview was not that good. They're like, it's okay. We knew that you are a fresher and we knew that you will not never be able to answer these questions. But we thought that let's test you, that let's bring your overconfidence a little down and then we'll talk man to man. So I was like, okay, now see, these are big people. They would know how to handle things. But that is the day when I realized that, see, this is where I'm giving my interview. It's okay that I was not able to answer them. They realize that it's my communication is good, and they realize that okay, he may not have those knowledge. But what when JP Morgan has selected me, now I'm going to communicate with my clients from all over the world. And if I'm not able to answer these practical questions, it will be the biggest back down of my life. And that is what was the biggest trigger of my life. And from that day till now, there has never been a day when I haven't read this, so that my financial knowledge, my every market knowledge is updated. So please start doing this. Now, I'm not a brand ambassador for Economic Times, but I'm just telling you, neither am I a brand ambassador for iPhone 14. No. But I'm just telling you that this is our future. At least for the next 2 months, we should know everything. What is written here? Sir, but we don't understand what is given in Economic Times. Sir, we don't have time. Sir, we are article clerks. We are so busy. Whatever it is, we have to spare some time for it from now on. So then I spoke this to my father. He told me that, boss, let's start. No, you start reading Economic Times. I said that, Papa, I'm not able to understand a lot of things. So he told, okay, what is your interest? So I told him again. See, now I like cricket. I was able to answer. I like Bollywood. I was able to answer that Bollywood ka movie based novel also. Bollywood, Hollywood, Tollywood, all of that. So he told me start reading Bombay Times. Have you seen Bombay Times? It is full of this, full glamour. Glamour everybody likes only by default. So I thought, chalo, I'll start with that. At least my reading habit will improve. Then my father told me that, see, in the last page of, see, this Times of India, see, in the last page of Times of India, there is article related to your football and your cricket and everything. Start reading that. At least you will develop a habit, and it actually worked for me. I started developing a habit for my newspaper reading, and eventually this is what I continued with. And till date, I wait eagerly in the morning that when will this newspaper come and I will be able to explore the global financial markets, how I will be able to understand what is going on in the share market, in the taxation arena, in the management consultancy. So much to do. So this was about my story. So finally I got selected in JP Morgan and had the best time of my life, around 3.5 to 4 years. I was in asset management and financial due diligence team, and we had some super duper smart people. I worked with MBAs there from IIMs. I worked there with international CFAs. I worked there with my chartered accountant colleagues. And oh my God, so much learning that I got from there. All of this will be shared with each one of you as well when we start with this subject. But I want a promise. What promise am I asking for? I hope you would know by now. Tell me, what is the promise that I'm looking for? Everybody, please tell me in the group. Hey, everybody is awake. No. How did you like my entry into JP Morgan? Entry into the world of strategic financial management. Had I got rejected in that interview, then I would have joined a typical audit firm, Big Fours, and probably I wouldn't have such good knowledge of finance and wouldn't have been here. So that's how it works. Right. Okay, now what is the one thing, one promise that I'm expecting from you guys? Tell me, guys. Come on, one promise that I'm expecting from you. Yes, you got it right. Please, Mega Lakshmi is absolutely correct. Darshan is saying you would have become an audit teacher then, but I don't think so. It would have been possible. In audit, I have in intermediate audit I scored 42 marks. In inter CA final audit I scored 41 marks. So I don't think so. Audit is ever going to be my cup of tea. Chalo. Yes, Satish Babu, commitment and discipline. But one thing that I want from you all is get connected to the economic times. Definitely in the lectures also we will be discussing. I will be discussing. See, this is come in the economic times. Did you read this? Did you read that? All of this will come from my end. But please stay attentive to all of these things, because see, it is not about just becoming a chartered accountant for the sake of it. Let's become a chartered accountant with knowledge as well. Definitely I will ensure that this subject gives you that 80, 90, 100 marks that you are looking for, but at the same time I also want you to be, knowledgeable for this subject, make a career out of it, and that will make me the happiest person on this earth. So please ensure that we are connecting all of this with the financial world, and that's how the system will work. So that was my introductory journey as regards my CA journey is concerned, my JP Morgan journey is concerned, and that is where the spark was sown as regards, yes, I will become a professor for financial management as well. But time had its course, and we started with uh, costing, and now finally financial management. So now let's try and understand after my start journey, let's try and understand what ICAI has in store for you in this subject, strategic financial management. Are you ready? Then let's get started. So first things first, let us quickly discuss the SFM, strategic financial management, a part of your CA final group 1 paper 2. So paper 2 group 1 is what SFM subject is into. And let us first understand what are the broad topics that we are going to understand in this subject. And for that, I have divided this whole subject into four broader parts. Let me discuss those four broader parts with you. I have divided it into four phases. We will call the first phase as phase 1. Then we have the phase 2. Then we have the phase 3. And then we have the phase 4. So how have I divided it? Let me write it down. You don't write anything, guys. See, one thing I'll tell you. Whatever I am writing will be uploaded on the Google Drive link as well. So you don't need to write for now. It is not that we will not be doing the writing practice. We will be doing abundant writing practice. We will be solving all the sums. But when I am teaching something, when I am delivering a concept, that is where I want all of you to be totally attached to me. All right, guys. And then I will give you enough time to write, and then you can easily manage all of that. All right, guys. So four phases is what I have divided into. Acha, please, one thing remember, that have full two-way communication. The more we communicate with each other, the better output we will get in this subject. And by default, after the break, the session that I'm going to take is going to ensure that by default you are going to communicate with me a lot. Chalo. So for now, let's start here. So I have divided this subject very smartly. How very smartly? I will be telling you all of that. Don't worry. I have divided this subject into four parts: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. So phase 1, then we have the phase 2, then we have the phase 3, and then we have the phase 4. All right, guys. So these are the four phases that I have divided it into. How have I divided it into? Why did I say that it is smartly divided? Because each phase covers approximately 25 marks, and I will prove it. I will prove it. Don't worry. I'm not saying this just for the sake of it. I have bought ICAI's paper here. So we will also analyze today itself. Yes, we are going to analyze ICAI's few past papers so that you get a confidence that okay, things are on the right track. But for now, let us understand how this phase is divided. I have divided this phase into four parts. I call the first phase as medium phase. I call the second phase as a difficult phase. I call the third phase as easy phase, and I call the first phase as very easy phase. You would know this, that every subject will have its share of highs and lows. Some things which will be very easy, some things which will be difficult. Obviously, that's the charm of giving a CA examination paper. Some will be medium and some will be very, very easy as well. All right, guys. So I have given them names. I've given them names. I'll tell you what names I've given you. See, I am a very big foodie. Big foodie. You can see it from my health that I'm a big foodie. Means I live to eat or I eat to live is one and the same thing. Only two passions in life. One teaching, other eating. Whenever, if you meet me, please ensure that wherever and whenever we meet in your city, you are taking me out. I want that promise from each one of you. Okay. And to the best food eatery in the town. Promise? Okay, good. So same here. Okay, that's great to know. So I call this first phase as Sev Puri. See, I'm from Bombay. So these eatery things are very common in our locality. So first phase I call it as Sev Puri. Second phase I call it as Tikka Pani Puri. Vaya, Tikka Pani Puri. Third phase, easy, is I call it as Sukha Bhel. And fourth phase I call it as Sev Kurmura. Let's go to Mahavir Nagar. Oh my God, Darshan Solanki. Most welcome, my boy. So, by default, every Friday and Saturday, Darshan, I'm there only. You can find me there. Chalo. So, these are the four phases. Now, let's understand it from the lens of strategic financial management before I get carried away. And yeah, you got me, no? Yeah, before I start imagining all of those things, let me focus here. Chalo. So first phase consists of three chapters. The first chapter is your mutual funds. The way I'm describing the phase, I will be teaching you that way only, in that whole perspective only. Okay. So first phase consists of mutual funds, and then we have portfolio management, and then we have security valuation. Then we have security valuation. So these are the Sai Puja Nakka is feeling very craving, hungry craving. Oh, same here. Let's go. Chalo. Second phase we will write, and that, as I told you, is the most crucial phase, and that is why I've kept it in between, and that is forex and derivatives. So yes, forex and derivatives will be done together by us. Then the third phase is about corporate valuation and mergers and acquisition. Mergers and acquisition, you know the connect that I am speaking of. And last phase is basically speaking of all the theory chapters. So what are the theory chapters? There is startup finance. I'll not write all of them. There is startup finance, there is securitization, there is financial policy and corporate policies, uh, then there is risk management, then there is security analysis. So here we have security valuation, there we have security analysis. So this is how I have divided the four phases. The fourth phase is hardcore theory. The fourth phase is hardcore theory phase. Yes, there are few parts of practical questions also. So I'll just quickly take you to the phases that I just mentioned. So what is the first phase? Mutual funds. See, now the numbering here that I have given you. So all of this will be shared with you. Don't worry. You don't have to write anything. Just pay attention. This numbering is given as per ICAI module. All of the things that I'm going to teach you will by default be as per, strictly as per ICAI module. So the first phase says as per chapter 4 security valuation, portfolio management, chapter 5, chapter 7 mutual funds, but we will be starting with mutual funds, then portfolio management, and then we will move on to security valuation. So 754, this is how my phase 1 will be divided into. I hope I am clear. Now, as I told you that this is like a medium level. This is like a, yes, this is like a medium level. And that's where we start. Second phase is the most crucial phase. And this is where if we are able to have a grip, then in that case, nothing like it. And that is derivatives, forex, international financial management, interest rate risk management. Oh my god, this is where the whole international global finances is going to be understood. Do you know why is US dollar so important? We will be studying it here, not to worry. Then we have the phase 3, which speaks of corporate valuation and mergers and acquisitions, that after a merger, whether the market price of that company is going to increase or decrease, you do a merger and acquisition, one as per your amalgamation, as per your accounts, but this is as per finance, whether market price per share will increase, whether it is resulting in the synergy benefit, 1 plus 1 should be equal to 11. If you remember, there was a merger or acquisition, say just recently Adani Enterprises acquired some shares in NDTV, and the price of NDTV shot up. So what was that? All of that discussion is going to be happen in third phase, and the fourth phase is going to be about, sorry, the fourth phase is going to be about your, yes, the theory phase. So financial policy and corporate strategy, risk management, security analysis. This risk management and security analysis has a little bit of practical as well. Has a little bit of practical as well. So risk management, security analysis will have a little bit of practical. Then you have securitization, and then you have startup finance. But predominantly this risk management and security analysis is your predominantly. They are what? They are theory oriented with a little bit of practicality. So we will understand all of that through these 4 phases. So I hope we are clear, guys. So now whenever you are going to revise, this is the pattern that you are going to take. And whenever you are now going to revise, okay, phase 1, chalo, pick it up, let's do it. 25 marks secure. Phase 2, let's pick up the block, let's do it. 25 marks secure. Phase 3, let's do it. Phase 4, let's do it. So do we need to do the theory by any chance? Any one of you can tell me whether doing theory is compulsory, or we can just leave it a little in option, because predominantly we have practical oriented questions. Do you feel theory is that important? You will answer it in 5 minutes. Don't answer it right now. Just wait for 5 minutes, and then I will ask you the same question again. And then you tell me whether theory is important or not. Let's go through this paper that I was speaking of. This is a ICAI paper. This is a ICAI paper. Okay. Look at this question number 1A. B. Can you see the question number 1C? What question is that? Acha, theory question. So 1C question theory, and in each case question number 1 is compulsory. Okay. So chalo, in the meantime, I'll also tell you about the paper pattern, and then we'll come to that theory part also. So paper pattern also is now I am going to discuss. So 3 things now I want from you all. First, are you clear with the phases? Phase 1, mutual fund, portfolio management, security valuation, medium phase. Phase 2, forex, derivatives, international finance, interest rate risk management. Difficult phase. I'm sure I'll make it easy, but let's understand it from a general perception. Phase 3, corporate valuation and mergers and acquisition. And phase 4, theory, startup finance, securitization, corporate startup thing, security analysis, risk management, all of that. All right, guys. Correct, Samanvita Siba. All right, are we clear, guys, with these phases? And this is how I will work. Now, ideally, you may say that, sir, let's start with easy or very easy, no? And then we will go to the medium and difficult part. I'll say no. Let's start with medium so that we get a good feel of the subject, and then as we are peaking we will start with the difficult thing, so that when we are at the peak of understanding we are doing the difficult thing. I don't want to start with difficult also, so that I start with forex and initially only we are demotivated to start, or initially only we'll feel that, oh my god, so much heavy subject. So I don't want that also. So let's do it systematically, and I'm sure we'll be able to manage it in the best manner possible. So that's where I thought that phase 1 medium will start, so we get a feel of the subject. Phase 2 is when we will peak for the subject. Phase 3, then now light, and phase 4 is wow, we are flying. All right, guys. So that's how the as I told you, the planning has been. Right. Then I was coming to the paper pattern. The paper pattern is very typical. Question number 1 is going to be compulsory question, of 20 marks. Now majority of the times what I have seen is that this is 8 plus 8 plus 4 question. It may also be a 10 into 2 question, 10 marks 2 questions. It may also become a 5 mark into 4 questions. See, this is ICAI. It is better not to predict. Majority it is going to be this. But just to confuse you a little, ICI may bring 2 questions of 10 marks. They may bring 5 marks 4 questions. So anything can happen. But predominantly this is the pattern that I have seen. Then we have the next part, and that is question number 2 to question number 6. Question number 2 to question number 6. Now in this question number 2 to question number 6, in this question number 2 to question number 6, we have to attempt any 4. And all of these are also of 20 marks. Same, either 8 plus 4 philosophy, or 10 into 2 philosophy, or 5 into 4 philosophy. 20 marks is what question number 2 to 6 will be. So now a question may come that question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we will do. Sir, question number 6 will be theory. Let's leave that theory in option. Okay. This is what you feel. Chalo, let's now come to this. Now this is a paper. This is a paper of say November 22. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen. Beyond that papers also we can see. But as of now, what is opened in my iPad is November 22 paper. Let's have a check. Question number 1A is of mergers and acquisitions. Here in when we were looking at May 22, first question was of forex. How do you know, sir? See here, dollar rate is given, dollar rate is given, dollar rate is given. So I know you don't know the chapters, all of it, but at least you know that dollar is there means forex is there something. So question number 1 can be anything. So dare you even think of leaving any chapter in option? Are you even thinking of it? Please stop that thinking immediately, because anything can be asked in this compulsory question. Mind you, anything. ANYTHING. Get it straight in your head. So if anything can be asked, let us be prepared for everything. If anything can be asked, let us be prepared for everything. Wow. All right, guys. So that's where we see that 2 different papers, 2 different chapters were asked. Okay, question number 1A, practical, 1B, practical. But look at question number 1C. Question number 1C is theory. With your permission, I'll just write it down that we are analyzing November 22 paper, and we are just analyzing the theory question. So here we analyze the theory question. We see that question number 1C was a theory question. Okay, let's see when they ask the next theory question. Okay, next theory question. Now question number 2A starts here. 2A starts. Okay, so 2A, 2B, 2C. Can you see this 2C? What is this? Acha, 2C is also again a theory question. 2C is also again a theory question. 4 marks. 4 marks. Okay, again. Next, Question 3A. Question 3B. Question 3C. 3C. What is 3C? Oh, again a theory question. So 3C. Again a theory question. Again for 4 marks. Question 4A. Question 4B. Question 4C. Again a theory question. 4C. Again theory, Henry. 4 question. Are we understanding, guys? Again question number 5A, 5B, and look at this 5C. Again a theory question. Look at 6A, 6B. Again 6C is a theory question. Who on this earth would have thought of leaving the theory now in option? Can you think of it? If you are planning to get 80 plus, don't even think of it. Just imagine. Now, 4 marks, 6 questions, totality to approximately 24 marks. And see, this is what my phase 4 is. This is what my phase 4 is. Approximately, I told you, it is 25 marks. And see, this is how my whole theory questions have been lined up. Are you understanding, guys? Okay. Then let's analyze one more paper. No, so it's possible that one paper they've asked like this. Let's analyze one more paper. Chalo, let's analyze. Who is saying no? So here, if I'm analyzing this May 22 paper, 1A, 1B, 1C. What is 1C? Sir, theory question. Okay, sir, compulsory question. Can be theory. Okay. 2A, 2B, 2C is again theory question. 3A, 3B, 3C is again theory question. 4A, 4B, 4C is again theory question, boss. 5A, 5B, 5C is again a theory question. 6A, 6B, 6C is again a theory question. Ladies and gentlemen, the same pattern is being followed here as well. OMG. Would you believe it? Tell me. So, guys, are you realizing the importance of theory? You better do realize, guys. You better do realize. Yes. Inevitable. That's the correct word. That's the correct word. Wow. So, okay. So, all I can say is now, are we clear with the whole scenario of what all SFM consists of? It consists of 14 chapters. Phase 1 will have 3 chapters, phase 2 will have few chapters, phase 3 will have few chapters, phase 4 will have few chapters, 25 marks. See, now we saw 25 marks theory. Yes, it is coming only. Here we saw this same 6 into 4 and. Did you see this? Now see this. Say for example, phase 1 mutual funds, 8 mark question is there usually. Portfolio management, 8 mark question is there. Security valuation, 8 mark question is there. 8 threes are 24. Remaining phase 3, phase 2, phase 3. Again, this is a general scenario, general trend that I have seen. At times, it is very much possible that ICAI may shift a few marks here and there in some other topic or something, but that doesn't bother us because we are, any which case, going to give equal importance, right? All right, guys. Sir, will most theory questions come from phase 4 chapters? Yes, SD Siddharth. That's a good question. Yes. The phase 4 chapters are specific theory chapters, and 9 out of 10 questions will be from phase 4 only. Again, I'm telling you 9 out of 10. So that one question may be asked from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We'll prepare ourselves for that also. But phase 4, even from ICI point of view, even they have internally thought that yes, those chapters which Mr. Sankalp has said in phase 4 are predominantly in the phase 4 chapters are predominantly what, just a moment. Yeah, are predominantly theory oriented chapters. Okay guys, yes, done. Sure. So that's how the whole system works. The paper pattern is clear to each one of you. The theory part is clear to each one of you. So now the most important part that we are going to understand is the, sir, what is the content that we are going to follow? The most important, your optimized book for SFM. So now I'm going to make you understand the whole pattern of the book, and you will realize the kind of efforts that has been put from our end, which will make you confident. I assure you, which will make you confident for this subject, and it will ensure that yes, you will now start imagining definite 80 plus for this subject. Yes, the wait is just over. This is how the whole book looks like, and I have prepared it with a proper content in my head, with a proper flow in my head. Let me share you that flow. The first thing that we are going to start with is a motivation quote, because that's what all of us are always in need of, a motivation. And if you see here, the motivation here starts in the first. See, there will be motivation from a Steve Jobs, from a Dhirubhai Ambani, from a Michael Jordan, everywhere, here and there, everywhere. Don't let the noise of others opinion drown out your inner voice. So let us our inner voice be very very clear. So that's where we start with. Now, as a student, I always used to do this. Whenever I used to start a chapter, I used to open the suggested answers to check for how many marks in the last few attempts has this chapter been asked. Do you also do that? I used to do it for my foundation, intermediate, final. So you are also going to do that? Now no need. For you, this chart is already ready. That how much was asked in November 22, or how was in asked in May 22, how much was asked in December 21, July 21, all of this. So last 6 to 7 attempts, 8 attempts, all of this detail is given in front of you. So now you know that yes, at least 8 marks will be asked from mutual fund. Every attempt, 8 mark question has been asked. One attempt, 16 question has been asked. 16 mark question has been asked. Now tell me, will you ever dare to even leave this chapter in option? Never. You know, 8 to 16 mark is the weightage of this chapter, boss. So second thing that I have written is marks allocation by ICAI. The second thing that I have put in this book is marks allocation. So every chapter will have this pattern, marks allocation by ICAI based on past papers. Third thing that now we are going to understand of the book, and that is your study mentor. Whoa, this is the person who will guide you towards that exemption, towards that journey of 80 marks. So what is this study mentor? This study mentor will give you a whole gist of what exactly are we going to study in this chapter. And as and when I teach you, you have to put a tick mark. Say for example, I teach you question number 4 today, calculation of NAV with different instruments. As soon as it is done, you put a tick mark here. When we are done, then after that you will revise. After that, put a tick mark here. You will revise again, put a tick mark here. And if you really want to get a rank, then in that case, boss, this has to be filled with all the tick marks you can see there, with all the tick marks that are available. Suppose during the examination, I feel that, sir, in the examination, obviously, I will share the important questions with you, but you feel when you are doing that, sir, question number 30, I'm finding it very difficult. So on the day of examination, I feel question 30 should be done. And sir, also secondly, I feel that sir, question number 46 is very important. It is a master sum. During the exam, I have to see. So you can use a highlighter to highlight those questions which you are going to see in the examination. So when you give your FR examination and come, you will open this book. You will immediately see that, okay, this red point is highlighted. You will immediately, this green point is highlighted. You will go to page 46, solve this sum. You will go to page 54, solve this sum. So that during the exam time, this study mentor will be a real mentor for you. Are we understanding? See, every person will have its own positives and weakness. This question may be a weakness for you, highlighted. This question, according to you, we all have our own intuitions for the examinations. As per my intuition, this question, this point may come in the examinations. I feel this is a master sum covering all the concepts. Let me do this also. So you don't have to waste your time, or you don't have to write it somewhere else in some other book. This book itself will do that work for you. How many times have you revised? You should know. You should know that, okay, this question I have revised 3 times, but this question I may have just revised 1 time. Some question I would have revised 5 times, so no need to look at it again. All of this in one place. And that is where we call this person as your friend, your philosopher, and your guide. And your guide. Right, guys? Got it? So this is what your study mentor is going to do for you. What it is going to do? It is going to be a planning tool for you. Great. Study mentor of SCMP optimized book really helped me a lot. That's nice to know. And that is the reason I have ensured that I will not miss even a single thing here in SFM as well. So study mentor, and I will be using this. Why? For top level planning purposes. Okay, chalo. Next, immediately we will move on to the next part, and that is your woohoo! The preview. And the preview is not like that only. This preview is like a summary of this whole chapter. This preview is like a summary of this whole chapter. Yes. So see here, type of schemes is what you have here. Then fixed maturity plans, exchange traded funds, cash fund, hedge fund. All of this is taken here. Options of mutual fund, growth plan, bonus plan, dividend payout, classification. So you have a summary out here. Then obviously detailed part is discussed ahead. Right? Then summary, and then you have the formulas. Can you see this? So formula for NAV, formula for return, formula for required return, tracking entry load, exit load. All of this is also covered here. Hey, Sanjigadu everybody. So here the next part is my preview, and the preview is a mind-blowing combination of summary of the chapter. At the same time, formulas are also there. So you will have in this preview, you will have summary as well as formulas all at one place. All at one place. Gotcha, everybody. Gotcha. Yes. Next. We don't stop here. No ways we will stop here. Then we have the concept callers. Now, I will start this chapter, but in a unique way. Nowhere on this earth will you find a start of a mutual fund like this. A Rakesh Junjunwala, a gold, a real estate. Where do I invest? I'm confused. And that is where I go to the mutual funds. We and my team has done a detailed analysis that what was the gold price in the last 25 years from 1995 to 2022, 23, so on. From here, Nifty rates, Nifty, Sensex, all of this I will make you understand. But this is basically share market. What was the share market in 1995? What is the share market now? All of this has been covered here. Again, this you will not find it in any book, in any module, anywhere. No, never. But is this helpful? Definitely. When we are going to understand the whole chapter, that is where you will realize that this is so important as well. So all of this analysis, and then we start with the whole chapter. The chapter will start with concepts, and after every concept there will be example. Here's a simple way to understand the concept of mutual fund unit. So we understood the concept, we have an example. We have some diagrammatic presentation. Are you understanding? Again, we have some concepts, we have some examples, we have some concepts, we wherever required I made it in a tabular form. What is how to establish a mutual fund, so all of this in a tabular form, easy to understand and grasp. Hey, samjhugudu, are we clear everybody? So this is how I have prepared the whole book's main content. So here we will write that next in line we have concept notes plus examples to understand those concept notes, right? So yes, very soon you will receive the copy in case you've not received it, and if you have it, I'm sure you are eager to understand, right? So this is about your portfolio classification, and every, okay, I'll just hold off that. Every single word of ICAI module is covered, mind you. Okay, every single word. Yes. Chalo. So, oh, hi, Dina. You were there. I thought you were not there. Chalo. So then again the whole thing then continues, the whole concepts and then examples is what we have. So here we have say arbitrage funds. Now ICI will just give you this much. ICAI will just give you this much, that what is arbitrage fund. But what I have done, I have specifically ensured that we write an example here so that it becomes easy for you to understand. So obviously I'll explain you the example, but even when you are reading it on your own, you will be using it as well. Got it, everybody? So that's how the whole system works. So this is about your initial concept building exercise and your theory exercise. Then starts our practical questions. So now you will have a question, sir, what is the coverage of practical questions? So let me write you with pride all the thing that we are going to. Yes, Sarva Guna Sampan. Very nicely said, Darshan. Practical questions will be from ICAI module, definitely. RTP, definitely. MTP, definitely. Past papers, 200% definitely. Right? Then what else? So this is the ICAI content. Do you feel ICAI starts with basic questions? The answer is no. ICAI will immediately start with a medium level or a high level question. So sir, what about the basic question? That is what I will put on my own. So basic questions of myself, then some questions that I have taken specially from my end. So there are few SK special questions as well that we are going to solve. Some questions probably taken from a CWA or from a old syllabus PM as well, wherever I feel it relates to your content that we are studying. So see here, it starts with a basic question. Now, if you open your ICI module, which you may have at least in a soft copy, they will start directly with a medium level question. But as a student, ICI, I know ICI assumes everything. That student knows everything. Then why are they taking exams also? He knows everything only, no? Nonsense. But obviously, as a professor, I know that we need to gear up from the basics and then build up. So that is where, see here, first question, basic calculation of NAV. This is there, you'll never find this question in an ICI module. Basic calculation of NAV, net asset value. You'll never find this question. So first we'll focus on these basics. Once we are through, then yes, we can start building up towards the medium level questions. Here, basic calculation of NAV. Now you may have calculation of NAV with different instruments. So what I have done, first put up my own basic questions so that you are not bombarded with high level questions immediately if I was to directly start with ICI module. No, never. Past papers, definitely past papers will be done. And what I have done again, in terms of past paper, I have specifically made a section of past papers. You will really be happy to notice this. See, I have specifically made a section of past paper questions and RTP. Can I say all of us will open the suggested answers of ICAI someday or the other? Looking out that what are the past questions asked, what are the questions. I may say that yes, all of the questions that I have done have been included in the past paper also. But what exactly are the questions that have been asked, at least in the last 4 or 5 attempts? Here you have the past paper question of say a probably November 22 attempt, or say a May 22 attempt, or say a December 21. If you remember, because of COVID, the exams were in December 21, or probably one attempt before July 21, or probably a question on Jan 21, or probably a question on November 20. Last 6 attempts, all the questions specifically that have been asked in your examinations have been covered here. Have been covered here. Right? You would do that exercise. No need to waste time in that. Please, in fact, invest your time in practice. And that's the reason I have invested that time and ensured that this, as it is from the suggested, I have picked up and put it here so that your time is saved, but you have to promise me that you will increase your effectivity and practice all of this for your benefits. This also includes your RTP questions. This also includes your RTP. So what I have done, past paper questions, RTP questions, all together. All together. At the same time, if a particular question, what is the theme of that particular question? See here, in the bracket I have written, what is the theme of this question? In the bracket I have written usually, what is the theme of the question? So that will also be there. See here, what is the theme of the question? At the same time, it is a module question. Right? What is the theme of the question? Accordingly, it is also written here. Right? So all of this covered. Now, if this is a module question, written here. This is a module question, written here. This is a module question, it will be written here. So you know what is a module question. If it is a past paper question, you know RTP question, I will specifically mention it. So I don't think so. Then you have to look anywhere else for anything else. Thank you so much for the promise. And let's do it. See here, I told you some ICWA exam questions also. Here I've written the concept, and this is a question from ICWA exam. Right, guys? So includes everything. We've been working very hard to ensure that the book that you get should be all sufficient. As somebody said, Sarva Guna Sampan. So you don't have to carry any other book, not even module, because every word of module is covered. Not even any other question or anything else required. No, I'm there. We are there. We have covered you. Wherever we feel, we have written some important notes, so that helps you. Right? I hope we are clear, guys, with the book content. With the book content. Perfect. And to top it all, will there be a magic book for SFM? Yes, there will be a magic book for SFM also. Yes, there will be a magic book as well. Don't worry. And to top it all, we will keep some test series for you. And probably I'm planning for some India level test series. But this test will be based on phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. And finally, a full syllabus test. Some people have suggested chapter wise also, but that for that you can specifically contact my team and they will help you with the specific chapter wise test. But for now, what we will do is we will keep it phase wise, because too many tests should not happen that you get bored out of it. So phase 1 you completed, it's not too much, it's not too less. Phase 2, not too much, not too less. Let's do it. Right? So that's where I'll try something of that sort, wherein all over India we have these phases and all the students together will give the exams at once, and we'll have a probably a dummy ICA exam before the main examinations. Let's see. That's what my vision and dream is. If it works out, nothing like it. But definitely we will have these phase wise tests, that is for sure. Full syllabus test, that is for sure. All right, guys. So that's how the whole planning as far as my end is concerned. I hope we are very clear and very focused in terms of everything that I am doing. All right, guys. So I hope you are also clear. Come on, guys. need your affirmations. Come on. Amazing plan. Perfect. Now let's execute it to the perfection. So that's where, in terms of books, everything, we've tried our best to cover all of this. So here is what we've done so far. The JP Morgan experience, Economic Times is your promise to me, but my promise to you that I will explain things and stuffs. Portion of SFM I have discussed, papers of SFM, paper pattern we have discussed, book detailing we have discussed, phase wise studies, test series we've discussed. Okay, now comes the revision lecture. So theory, practical, marathon revision sessions is what I again plan to do. Ensure that, yeah, some students ask that, sir, I have not done SFM ever, will I be able to understand? Yes, we will in which case start from basics only, so I don't think so you'll ever have a problem as far as that. And then we have derivation of formulas, so we'll try at max possible to derive all the formulas so that all the examples, all the practicals are taken care of. So what I will do is, there is a practical example for every concept. No concept falls from the earth, from the sky. No, there is a practical reason why we have something. So we will try to understand that practical example, and we will try to derive all the formulas. So that will really be very, very interesting part when we do it. All right, guys. So I hope we are on the right track, and all of you guys are now excited and ready to start this journey. Right, guys? Great, great to know that. Chalo. So now on that note, let's take a short break with all of this in the head. I'll just flip through the pages. If somebody wants, they can write it. And after the break, I am going to start not with some chapter. No, 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 no. First lecture, I never start with a chapter. I am going to give you an overview of global financial market, and how does that global financial market connect with the Indian financial market, and how do all of these things work in totality. Trust me, the next session will blow your mind away, and by the end of this, I ensure each one of you is going to experience a next level magic in your head, and that is my promise. But on the other side of the break is what we'll be having that. Are we ready for it? Great. Chalo. So I'll take a break before I start bombarding you with more things. First day, we already had almost a 1 hour, 10-minute lecture. So we'll just keep it here. So the first discussion, the prima facie discussion about how I am going to approach, about my book, about what is SFM, about how we are going to divide it about in phases, and all of that is discussed from my end. How we are going to conduct the tests, right? So all of that has been discussed from my end. And now let's start with part 2 of this session after the break. See you after 5 minutes. Thank you. Acha, in case any of you have doubts or anything, I think you have my WhatsApp number. I'll still share it with you. So this is my WhatsApp number. All right, guys. Sure. Thank you so much. See you all after the break.